we're in the era of technology, and, with a lot of people are fearful about artificial intelligence, robotics, automation is going to take away my job. Well, you can live in fear of technology, or just accept that it's only going to advance at a growing pace. And you can learn to leverage technology, let technology be your friend, both putting it to work in your life, but also looking for opportunities to put your money to work in categories of technology that are going to be dominant. Technology startups have shown to be great investments, and particularly if you can get into disruptive technologies and get in early, they can be very lucrative. But typically, this is where the Silicon Valley venture capital companies are the ones that have gained. Today, I want to show you how any person taking advantage of the right timing opportunity can get the same benefit. We hop in a stranger's car that takes us from A to B, and it completely disrupted the taxi industry, yet they don't own any taxis. Uber does not own any motor vehicles, and yet it's a $160 billion company. Airbnb, this concept where you have people staying in your apartment, your villa, your home, sleeping in your bed, using your bathroom, and that's become a company that's disrupted the accommodation industry, and it's now valued over $100 billion. Crazy concept, yet disrupted, and Airbnb doesn't own any property. Spotify helped actually musicians get their music heard by the world, so they didn't have to go to a record company and hope they get signed. It's actually democratized the music industry. And Netflix, of course, was kicked out of the office when they tried to sell their concept to Blockbuster Video, and now Blockbuster Video doesn't exist, and Netflix is one of the most well-known media companies in the world. So if you might not understand how disruptive things are at the start, but those who are willing to take a look and open their mind to new possibilities did very well. So you don't have to create a new industry to succeed. You just need to find a way to disrupt it. So what is the next disruptive project? I didn't get that early adopter chance with Uber, Spotify, Netflix, Airbnb, but I'm not going to miss the next one. And that next project is Blockchain Sports, taking the sports industry where we have a passionate fan base all around the world. People will show more passion about their sporting team than their spouse. They will walk over broken glass, climb over barbed wire fences to get a selfie with their sporting hero. They will find the money to get a ticket to go and watch as far as the finals of a championship. People are crazy about sport, and it's a massive industry, a $550 billion industry. Well, blockchain sports is all about using technology to disrupt it. Think about it. What is Uber? It's just an app company. What's Airbnb? It's an app company. Spotify and Netflix, just you leverage technology to allow you to access media from any actual device linked to the internet. So just using technology, you can leverage that. Now, you don't have to understand the technology to use an Uber app. The driver doesn't have to understand the technology to provide the service. But the investor doesn't need to understand the technology to recognize an opportunity. So I don't think this is something where you need to learn the technology. This is simply recognizing that if you can leverage technology and tweak an existing industry, there's mass opportunity. So there's already been 18 months of development put into this pre-February this year to sort of get the model right and show there was potential. Then we've got this unique founders phase, like the venture capital phase, where you've got a chance before it goes live in September 1 to get involved in a development phase and get that opportunity where, rather than being the Uber driver only making money on your Uber fares, you get to be the Uber investor who's making money on every ride. What would you rather be? The Uber investor making money on every ride, whether you're sitting by the pool, lying in bed, sound asleep, or be the Uber driver who's got to maintain his car and go out there and only makes money on his own rides? The answer is pretty obvious. So what's happened so far? Well, we're taking advantage of the Web3. This is the next generation of the internet. You don't have to know what Web3 is, just understand that the internet is actually evolving all the time, from Web 1 to Web 2 to now to Web 3. It's basically the interactive side where we, the public, get to have some sense of ownership of the internet, and we can capitalize on it. And we're utilizing that to bring breakthrough technology to the global sports industry. We're going to start with football, soccer, depending which part of the world. Some people call it soccer, some people call it football, but was the obvious choice because it's got global reach. It's known all around the world. And then we're going to expand into multiple sports. So we've already been building that framework. We're building digital and real world infrastructure. This is not just a technology project. We have football clubs and academies and health sciences and media companies, as well as all this digital ecosystem. And that's led to us attracting support from governments and football legends and streaming media companies, international football clubs, and developers of cutting edge technology who say, you know what, there's something unique happening over here, and I've got some great technology. I'm going to bring that into the ecosystem, and I can see opportunity to help them while helping myself. So far, in the first 18 months, pre-founders phase, over $13 million in development. And now we're in this exciting founders phase where you can receive passive, residual, digital, and in real life rewards. Remember I said at the very start, you can make a decision. You can just be a passive participant putting some money to work, or you can really capitalize on every aspect of this and share it with the world. Is this concept real? Does it have any value? Well, here's some examples. In February, this was given a valuation of $1 billion by the most reputable intellectual property consulting company in Dubai, the Sanjar Group. Then some new technology got added to it, and a month later, it was valued at $5 billion. We have copyright protection internationally on this technology. That's important because technology can be easily copied. We see it all the time. Copycats come along. Usually the first mover is the one who ends up being the biggest. If you look through history of most technologies, the first one that launched generally became the dominant one. But if you can protect the intellectual property and show people that it has real world value, then you've got a winning recipe. And in fact, the Sanjar Group, if you go to their website, you'll see that Blockchain Sports is the featured project. And they deal with the Coca-Colas of the world, you know, the big iconic global brands. And they're saying that they predict Blockchain Sports will be valued at more than $500 billion. Now, $500 billion is more than the combined value of Uber, Airbnb, Netflix, and Spotify together. And we haven't even gone live yet. We talked about that soccer or football was the first sports category. And you might think, well, there's only interest from technology people, you know, who else is putting their brand behind this? Well, these are soccer legends on your right-hand side who played for their countries, played in World Cup games, who've spent their lives living and breathing football. They've got actually sponsorship deals with Nike and Adidas and big media companies and big companies all around the world. They've worked very hard to build a reputation and leverage that reputation to maximize the revenue they can collect when they finish playing their football career. Well, they've put their brand behind Blockchain Sports as ambassadors, and there's a collective audience of more than 750 million followers just with these brand ambassadors, and there's more brand ambassadors coming on board all the time. So what's going to happen with a following of hundreds of millions of people who suddenly find out through their heroes that this is where they need to focus their attention? We're creating solutions across multiple platforms. You don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. You want to have the opportunity to maximize your revenue stream if you're putting your money to work. The problem with diversification for most people is they're putting their money into multiple projects, and you have to trust a different management team, a different ownership team, a different development team with different projects. And that's a lot more risk. Are they going to get it all right? Well, here under one umbrella, we've got, for example, the NFT marketplace, which is simply saying we're taking players, up and coming talent or existing talent, putting them in the marketplace and allowing the public to get fractional ownership of these players. And as their value increases, as they get signed up by better clubs and transferred to better clubs and play for World Cup and et cetera, and their value goes up, your fractional ownership of them is also going to increase in value. And there's a whole marketplace where you can buy and sell that fractional ownership. We're building the academies and the clubs where we develop the talent and put them in the leagues where they're playing for existing clubs and ultimately our own clubs. We're going to take the latest sports and health sciences to assess who's worth investing into. How can we maximize the careers of these people by extending their quality of health and actual performance? How do we avoid injury and also actually recover from injury quicker? How can we extend the career and extend the quality of their career? Then we take sciences like virtual reality, extended reality, and artificial intelligence, and we can now improve as far as the technique. We can create new categories of sports like esports, where the online sports that are huge revenue streams, where people sit in front of their computers and their phones and in video cafes, and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And of course, sport is all about entertainment. You know, walk past any Irish pub or I'm a sports bar and you see there's TVs up there broadcasting sport. You know, people love to be in a social environment and watch sport. So media is a big part of it. So what we're talking about here is real world revenue streams in partnership with cutting edge technology. So because you might have actually been approached by opportunities that are in the blockchain space and the cryptocurrency space on the Web3 and internet, and it's sort of like it's all a bit intangible. Well, the training academies, physical infrastructure that trains new talent is real. Football clubs that put players on the field actually competing in a league is real. Sports and health science technology is real. Virtual and extended reality and artificial intelligence is technology, yes, but it's real. You wear the wearables, you wear the goggles, you can be on a field and have AI cameras tracking you and have real fantasy leagues. Player sign-on and transfer fees is a real category that generates tens of billions of dollars every year for all the scouts and the transfer agents. And of course, Netflix and Amazon Prime and big media companies spend huge amounts of money to broadcast sport and do documentaries and movies about sport. Here's an example. We're building real infrastructure. Like in Brazil, there's actually 3 academies already built. We're talking about world-class academies. That's sort of where the young talent now has an equal playing field to get access to the best infrastructure, technology, trainers, coaches, and to give them the best chance to reach their full potential. And not only that, to remove the financial barriers, because the financial barrier is a thing that inhibits a lot of young talent reaching their potential. Their family doesn't have the money to send them to the academies. The difference is here is the academy entry cost is being actually removed, and we're just interested in developing the best talent. And of course, we've got the digital side. Just like Uber wouldn't be a reality without app technology, Airbnb wouldn't be a reality without app technology, neither, Netflix or Spotify without the internet, and that technology wouldn't exist. You have to have technology, infrastructure, and backbone, and we're using blockchain. But rather than just putting our brand name on somebody else's technology, we're basically creating our own technology in-house. So our own layer 1 blockchain. You don't have to understand what that is, just like you don't need to understand the app technology to use an Uber app, but understand that if you're developing it in-house and you control the direction and all the possibilities, that's a better solution. When people engage in our Athleta blockchain digital world, our ecosystem, they need to use a currency to do that too. And there's fees generated from that. And that becomes a revenue stream for us, the founders. Well, that's our Atla token, our Atla coin. That's the digital currency of our entire ecosystem. The nodes are simply the hardware that puts into circulation into the ecosystem the currency. It's what validates transactions. No different when you go into the shop and you have a haircut, or you have a coffee or a restaurant meal, or you're paying for your groceries and you tap your card on an FBOS terminal on the counter. That's a bit of technology that's validating a transaction for Visa, MasterCard, Amex, PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, et cetera, et cetera. It's technology that's allowing a transaction to occur, and that technology is validating that transaction to make sure there's money in the account and everybody gets what they want. Well, nodes do that. They just actually perform a number of different functions. That one is putting our digital currency into circulation, two, validating transactions, and all that generates revenue. And that's why Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Google Pay, Apple Pay are huge multi-billion-dollar businesses because there's a lot of money being generated. Of course, you need a digital wallet, just like you need an ATM card to tap that machine or a bank account to hold the funds. You need a digital wallet to hold digital currency. There's a lot of information being generated through the health and sports sciences, through the AI, through all the information about these new players, the NFT marketplace, where we're going online and looking at the track record of these players and what their value is. That's data. It's got to be stored somewhere. And guess what? People pay a fee to access that data. And that generates revenue. Data storage is one of the biggest revenue streams. And of course, we have an exchange because you need to take your US dollars or your Thai baht or your Malaysian ringgit or your euros and convert it into a digital currency. And then you want to convert that back out to your fiat currency. So we have an exchange. So you need to understand this technology. You just need to understand that all these things are being created in-house, and the combination of all these technology creates the ecosystem that allows all those real world opportunities to also interact. And we have a complete business that takes care of everything. So how do you become a founder? Well, we're going to show you how to access these limitless benefits. And what are the benefits? Well, firstly, you get the first mover advantage. Remember I said the first to market in a new disruptive category usually is the dominant one. There are other rideshare companies, but Uber is probably the most well-known one. So we're in this development phase where you get a chance to get a piece of the action. As I said, you get to be the Uber investor, not the Uber driver. You get to earn digital and IRL in real life rewards. So as we generate revenue from all these different digital ecosystem and the in real life part of it, that's revenue that comes back to the community, comes back to the founders. You get to accumulate assets. You want to become wealthy, you need two things: assets that grow in value and cash flow. And we're going to give you both. Assets, there's fractional ownership of players and academies and clubs. We're going to give you cash flow from all those different things as well, as clubs license our health and sports sciences. They license our VR and XR technology and AI, et cetera, et cetera. The media deals, the sponsorship deals. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that there are many facets to the sports industry that all generate billions and billions of dollars. And of course, if you want to, like I'm doing, you can share this with other people and help them understand what it's all about, and you can be rewarded for that. So access to Limitless, access to this founders phase is through Limitless. And this is the #1 tech funding community in the world. I was fortunate to be at the grassroots of this back in late 2020. And I've watched this group of people grow to over 240,000 people in more than 100 countries. And we basically provide funding for different projects to help them achieve their goals. Our first project was over $660 million raised that ended in February this year. And that's changing an aspect of the financial industry. Blockchain Sports is our next project. The good thing about this model is whether you're a passive person who's just looking for opportunities to put money to work, or whether you're looking to grow something even bigger than that, everybody wins. Everybody in that first project makes money, and everybody in blockchain sports will make money. It's not a maybe you will, maybe you won't. Everybody's going to get a benefit for just actually being a part of this. So how do you become a founder? Well, we have what we call founders packs, and these founders packs deliver passive, digital, and in real life rewards. I won't get into too much detail, but just to say this: it's like going to a buffet in a restaurant. A buffet has lots of different types of foods and drinks, etc. So imagine that you bought a pack that in the first pack, Pack 1 gives you access to the appetizers. The next pack gives you appetizers and entrees. The next bigger pack gives you appetizers, entrees, and main course. The next pack includes also the desserts. The next pack includes soft drinks and juices. And the biggest pack gives you all the alcohol. So you've got the whole thing. So you can really indulge and enjoy the whole restaurant experience. Same here. We have founders packs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the bigger the pack, or the more you upgrade to a higher pack, the more layers of the buffet of revenue streams you can access. So we have digital rewards, from minting the Atlas token into circulation to validating transactions on the network, the Explorer fees, the wallet transactions, the cross bridge fees, and the exchange. And again, if you don't understand this, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen whether you understand it or not. Just like Uber technology works whether you understand it or not. And we have real life categories where we put these players in the marketplace, and you can get fractional ownership of players and clubs and academies. We've got player transfer fees, the royalties from the actual training academies and the clubs, the royalties and the license fees from clubs licensing our health and sports sciences, the license fees from licensing our virtual reality technology and AI, and of course, the gaming entertainment. So these are all categories. With each of these packs, you get nodes. Remember, the nodes are simply like the printing press, printing our digital currency into circulation so it can be used in the ecosystem. You own that. You own the printing press. You own the node. It's your asset. It can be sold in the open marketplace. Why you would sell the printing press that makes you money is beyond me, but you can if you choose to. And then you've got the currency, the tokens that are minted into circulation. Every node generates 937 tokens, and those tokens have a value. You might say, well, is it going to have real value? Well, without going into too much detail today, I can tell you that in this testing phase, which began testing the whole ecosystem on the digital side on June 3, we have blown away every record that every previous project has done. Even the most iconic cryptocurrency token projects out there, our testing transaction numbers and everything else has blown them all out of the water. So the reality is that this currency, the Atlas token, is destined to do big things. I can't make you a guarantee. The only guarantee I can make is if you don't have any, you won't get to capitalize. It's that simple. So the bigger the pack, the more revenue streams, the more nodes, the more tokens you get to own. Now, there's been a discount applied that was started at its biggest discount back in February and April, and it's been slowly reducing. So we're now in June. So in July 1, the discount's going to reduce again, which means effectively you're paying 10% more for participation. So if you like what you see today, think about this, that Sunday, this Sunday, June 30, is the last day to get this current discounted rate on these founders packs. So take full advantage of that, because it is time sensitive. That's not hype. That's not marketing pressure. That's simply saying to you, this is a time sensitive issue, because in August 16th, there's no more founders. No one else will ever get this opportunity. These founders packs will never be available again. This opportunity to be the early adopter will never be available again. And again, it's not a marketing pitch. That's just reality of how it's being designed. Now, we started with football, and just in the last few weeks, a unique opportunity popped up in the MotoGP, motorcycle racing, because we're going to add layers of different products out there. And this was particularly around a strong interest in our virtual reality and extended reality technology, because motorcycle racing is very expensive and also very dangerous. And there's also the online sports area is very big, tens of billions of dollars being invested. So we're going to develop a simulator that's going to allow these motorcycle teams like Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, et cetera, to use this technology where their riders can be on a simulator that mimics exactly the sensation of racing a motorcycle without all the dangers, that can be used 24 hours a day. So whether it's raining or snowing, or as far as a heat wave, their riders can still be getting max amount of time training. The team can analyze their technique and improve their performance. And there's big money. So we're raising money to develop just a working prototype simulator. $50 million has been raised. And we've got the opportunity to be involved in the raising of those funds. There's already buyers lining up, already MOUs, memorandums of understanding, contracts being signed for buyers ready as soon as the prototype's done. They say a couple of months to develop the prototype. With these special Motorsport XR packs, you get some nodes and you get some tokens, and you get to receive a quick turnaround because this sale will happen effectively probably within 3 to 6 months of the $50 million being raised. If we don't raise it all, there's already institutional investors waiting, but they can't get involved because Limitless Community is the only one that can bring funds in until August 16th. But August 17th, the floodgates open. There are institutional investors out there knocking on the door. Please let us in. And they say, nope, sorry, Limitless has got first access. So if you want to take advantage of this, please do. So that's everything for the passive person, which is quite extraordinary when you think about it. I mean, it's one of the best offerings I've seen in my nearly 40 years as a self-employed entrepreneur. But if you shared this, there are other rewards. Imagine you went to Uber and you said, here's some money. I want to put some money towards the actual development of your app. I see the potential. And Uber said, that's great. We'll give you a share of our revenue. And by the way, when we go live, we've put aside a special fund that will pay you back all the money that you put in this development phase. Ask any venture capital company in Silicon Valley, that never, ever happens. Yes, you might get your seat on the board, you might get some profits, but you don't get your initial money back. Well, here we have a special rebate pool, a special fund that set us where part of the revenue, part of the sales revenue of these packs is put aside, put to work, makes profit, and the profits from that are going to pay back all of the money for those who qualify. And how do you qualify to get all your money back? Simply create $1,000 worth of personal referral volume. Now, that means just share this with 2 people who see the value and want to take advantage. If you get more serious about expanding it, you can generate multiple layers of referral, because that's what happened with me. I told some people who told some people, told some people, and that's expanded all around the world. And you can get paid on tens, hundreds, thousands of people. And every time a founder's pack is purchased, within 24 hours, you are paid, and you can claim that down and you can convert that into other digital currency, or you can cash it out to your fiat currency. Hit different milestones. The bigger the milestones in terms of your personal referral volume, and as your community grows, the better. So there's lots of opportunities here. I won't go into detail because the reality is all the detail can be explained in our videos and our PDFs and by the person who referred you. I just want you to understand there's an opportunity here to do very well. But this is what I want you to understand most importantly, the big picture. The number of founders in the Limitless community receiving digital and in real life rewards after September 1 will never increase. Hear what I said. After, when this finishes August 16th, no one can be a founder. That's it. That opportunity is done. But the potential revenue for the whole project is only going to get bigger as more and more players come into the marketplace, as more and more clubs come on board, as far as the academies get replicated around the world, as more media deals get signed, as more and more clubs access our health and sports sciences, as more and more clubs license our VR and XR technology, as more and more users interact with our digital ecosystem, more wallet transactions, validation transactions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You get it. It's just like Uber didn't really understand, couldn't give you an exact number on how much transactions they were going to do in their first year. They were confident of success, and they've grown to a $160 billion company. You as a founder are accessing a lifetime of increasing passive residual income with no more work to do, because 40% of all of the digital and in real life revenue is coming back to founders packs holders. But in addition, 10% of all the revenue is being shared through the referral program. So if you build the community, you get extra passive income. So if I've got my friend Bob and Mary and Helen who are getting their passive rewards, they're happy, but I'm also getting something every time they get paid. So the bigger my pack, the more I earn. The bigger the actual community I build, the more I earn. And I said, you get to decide. Sharing this with other people is something you can volunteer to do, but I would highly encourage you to do so. But on that note, I want to thank you for your time today. Have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world.